Hello, everybody, and welcome to the new show on the No Nonsense network of podcasts. Usually what happens is you get so successful that, there's a clamor for more shows. You start to take liberties. In this case, we're launching a second unsuccessful podcast on the No Nonsense podcast network universe, expanded No Nonsense universe. And that's because it's a movie podcast. It's called You Couldn't Write It.
You could not write a script like this!
That's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, we have a name. We were asking last week, what the hell are we doing? Now we know.
We got a name. You couldn't write it. And at the moment, again, we could expand this universe into a third, even less successful than the two podcasts where we do other movies. But for the moment, we're going through all the kind of the football movies, the most famous football movies. I wouldn't say. Oh, no, there are some good ones. We have been recommended some I think, kind of decent movies that have football going on in the background, but it's more about the characters. We might get into some of them. We will start off with the easy ones first, I think. Last week, we did Bend Like Beckham, which was a huge hit.
Great.
It's what the people wanted. They requested it. We gave it to them. This week, we said, right, one for them, one for us. We're going to do one that we want to do, which, it was in the poll, wasn't it? It wasn't a goal, one, Air Bud and
Bend Like Beckham. Air Bud.
Goal and Air Bud both joint second.
Joint second. There was one vote between the joint second two and Bend Like Beckham.
Yeah.
It was neck and neck.
I mean, 10,000 votes and one vote between them. That's crazy. you don't see often, but so we said, fuck it, we're just going to do Air Bud because we want to do it. It'll be gas. It'll be funny.
This is going to be great. Yeah. The dog he's playing in the World Cup. That's what the title suggests.
I mean, it's Air Bud. It's Air Bud. It's the third Air Bud as well. That's the thing. That's important to remember.
Crucial. Yeah.
Crucial part. But do you know what? We'll get into it. We'll play the trailer and we'll get into it.
The championship on the line and the world is watching. Brianna Scurry has made her way back to the net, but it's obvious she's in a lot of pain.
Coach is signaling, I don't believe it. The U.S. has designated Buddy Fram to replace Scurry. Go get him!
Continuing the tradition of Air Bud.
Air Bud is gonna score! Yeah!
Everyone's sports hero is back, and it's a whole new ballgame.
Nothing but Air Bud.
With special appearances by women's soccer world champions Brianna Scurry, Tisha Venturini, and Brandi Chastain. Air Bud, World Pup.
Well, look, that probably tells you everything you need to know.
That's the movie.
That is the movie there. There's not many twists and turns. Look, I'm just going to come around and say it. This is the worst movie I've ever watched to completion.
Yes. Oh, 100%. This is... I've seen bad movies in the past. And I've gone, fuck this, I'm bored, or turn it off. Or even I've seen bad movies, but when you get through, it's like, what was it? I was entertained by how bad that was. This had nothing going for it. It was a disaster.
Yeah, I'm not really a big movie guy where I'll watch every new release or, if something's new to Netflix, I'm going to look up the reviews of that first. And if that's like 6 out of 10, I'm like, no. Fuck no. I'm not watching that. My time is limited on this earth. I'm not going to waste my time watching it. For context, this movie's rated 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Which seems high, honestly. That's 4.5.
Yeah. Well, look, it's for a very specific audience at a very specific time and place in the world, I think. And you know what? I think it's a good thing we've done this, Will, in a way, because I think we have a new rule now, which is only theatrical releases from now on.
Yeah, no straight to DVDs.
This was straight to video back in the year 2000, which I guess it's the equivalent of straight to streaming, but one of the bad streaming places, not straight to Netflix or HBO or
Tubo or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Tubi or something like that. But the thing is, you cast your mind back. This is 2000. This is pre 9/11. This is a long time ago. You know, like,
people just wanted to stick on a bit of chewing gum for the eyes, just something nice for an hour and 20 minutes. It's not even an hour and a half. They couldn't get an hour and a half out of it, but it's just something nice and fluffy.
Your people had emails, but wasn't social media or like you certainly wasn't YouTube. YouTube wouldn't come along for another. I think it was 5 years for the first iteration of YouTube came along.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you wanted to watch this, or if you didn't want to watch this as a kid, you had to read something. Will.
Yeah, awful.
It was this or books. So like that's the level when you're a Disney executive putting together this movie, you're thinking this is a slam dunk. All we have to do is make this, and they're going to buy it.
This is an Air Bud 2 slam dunk. Pardon the pun.
This is it. Air Bud. I've never seen Air Bud. It's just one of those kind of endearing ones. Like, remember that movie with the dog playing basketball? Wasn't that crazy? And then I don't know if that got a theatrical release. Maybe it did, but
I think I have a theory that Air Bud 1 was a fucking raging success. Maybe now not in theaters, but maybe I'd say like video sales wise, because there's a big red flag at the start of this movie that let me know, oh no, this is going to be bad. This movie is produced by and presented by Air Bud Entertainment. So it's literally the Air Bud division, I would assume, of Disney's, the off branch that just pumps out Air Bud shit. And they made this one up. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh God, no, this is going to be awful. No one's looking at this except the Air Bud people.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, just to contextualize it a bit, I think that it's important to know that maybe Air Bud 1 was a success. The budget was $3 million and it made $27.8 million.
Yeah, huge.
So from that point on, it's like, okay, there's an appetite for this amongst, young kids who have nothing else to watch. Again, these are books. So, not stiff competition for the kind of people who be buying this. And like, if you're a parent, this is like putting on YouTube now. You say, get a video for the kids and stick it on.
Get some colours on the telly.
Get some colours on telly. Yeah, plot them from that, So like, that's what this is. It's for kids. It's a movie. It's a bad movie for kids. But it's for kids who don't even know what movies are really, And this isn't kind of like I'm smarter than kids. I am, but I'm not saying like that's like as a flex. I'm just saying like we sat down and wasted hours of our lives because we had to watch this twice because I couldn't get through the first time watching this movie.
It took me 2 goes as well.
And it was never made for us. It was never designed for us. It was never written for us. It was written for little babies and kids to just like. So all the like the plot points that we're going to get into, like this didn't make any sense. The people who wrote that know this, They wanted to
work. They're not idiots. Yeah,
they wanted to work on Mulan, but they weren't put on that assignment. It's like you have to do your time in the Air Bud Studios division first before you get the big, the big ones. You want Hercules too? Don't think so. The TV show? No. Show what you know in Air Bud 5. Show me we can take this puppy angle, and then maybe we'll talk about, the next big one. So, yeah, it's a terrible movie. I think even by kids' standards, I don't think this would have held a lot of people's attention, but I guess it must have.
I will say though, because we'll get into it later, but when I was looking up, the music in it is amazing. We'll talk about it in a bit, but I had looked up some of the songs on YouTube to find their names and stuff. And some of the comments that are written under those are incredible. Because here's some of the top comments on the song Lucky Stars by Beverly Staunton, which we'll play later on and talk about later. I grew up on Air Bud. This song hits different. Best childhood ever. Someone uploaded this after a decade of waiting. Thank God. Who else is still listening in 2020 thinking about Air Bud?
Damn.
There are kids out there who obviously watched this slop that was designed for them, and they probably watched it 1,000 times on video. They have really fond memories of Air Bud 3, World Pup.
Yeah, that's it was a meme format there for a while. If you didn't have X, you had a shit childhood, or you didn't have a childhood, or whatever. Like just stuff that was important to people. And like now, I think I've seen ones where it's like a picture of KSI and Hawk 2 or whatever. And it's like, this is someone's childhood, by the way. This is what they're going to be like nostalgic about in 20 years. Like, I guess it can be important to you. Just it's when you were a kid, when you were happy and life was going well. Like, wow,
Exactly.
I think I love Air Bud. It's like, you loved when you were 5.
Air Bud holds up. I watched it recently. Yeah.
Yeah, it brings back happy memories. Which is what movies are about, really. Like your favorite movie, oftentimes it's like it's because when you were in college or when you were whatever a kid, and just like this is when I fell in love with movies. I don't know if Air Bud is when people fell in love with movies. Like I feel those people are probably not doing well if they're like, wow, remember the Air Bud expanded universe?
Looking up the song on YouTube now and not doing a podcast about it. Why are you looking that up, mate?
Yeah, I mean we're not any better, but Yeah, I mean, look, the other thing to know from this, not any stars, past, present, or future in the Suns.
Yeah. I kind of recognize the coach character, but I don't know from what. I think it's from other kind of similar crappy made-for-kid movies.
Yeah, I mean, the star of the show, Josh.
Timu Zac Efron.
Yeah, well, look, this is the thing. That they try a few of these guys before they land on Zac Efron. Not everyone's going to be Zac Efron, but, they follow the same...
He looks like him.
Yeah, they follow the same template, like a handsome young person. Can he act? I think that's maybe debatable. But
he's not the worst. There's worse people in the film.
You put enough, handsome people in movies, eventually one of them can sing, act, and dance, and that was Zac Efron. That was, Ryan Gosling before him and Justin Timberlake. There's been a few, but for every one of those guys, there's 100 guys you never heard of. And in this case, it's Kevin Zegers is the Canadian actor you've never heard of. Yeah, I think he's in all the Air Buds. I think that's like his big thing. He has a few other roles and other ones in other movies I haven't heard of. Dawn, he was in Dawn of the Dead apparently. Don't remember that.
Dead Guy 4.
It's a boy girl thing. 2006. Never heard of that. Frozen 2010.
Frozen.
Not that Frozen. Another Frozen. A live action Frozen, but not about that thing. Little lad TV shows. He's in Gossip Girl. Fear the Walking Dead, maybe Zombie Number 7, I don't know. But yeah. Like it feels a bit harsh. This guy's a kid, but he can't act. He can't act at all.
He can't act. His love interest, Emma, is probably the worst. Some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a film. She's supposed to be British. I did not realize until 3/4 of the way through the film, because her accent is so bad that I thought she was like a European football player.
I thought she was Swedish. She's blonde.
Yeah.
And she's kind of very tanned. I was like, oh, she must be kind of Swedish. I guess that's what that broken accent is.
Why'd you move to Fernfield?
So after Mum passed away, Daddy decided we needed a change and we moved here.
Sorry about your mom.
It's okay. Listen, Josh, Daddy wants to throw a bash for the team. Would you like to come? It's Friday at 7:00.
She's good at football. She's playing with the team, and they say, "Hey, I thought we were playing football." Or I thought we were playing soccer. She's like, "Football and soccer, they're synonymous." And she says it in that voice. And I'm like, I don't know where this person's from. But then when we meet her posh, rich dad, who's very British, then you go, oh, she's just a bad actor.
She's a 14-year-old girl from Florida, apparently.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But this is the kind of budget. They're not getting a British actor for this. Fuck no. We got a mannequin over here who's just dying to get on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. She can give it a go. This is her big break. I think it's important, like I said, to mention it's the third Air Bud film. So maybe you're not familiar with the Air Bud franchise plot. But essentially, it's a dog that plays sports better than
he's really good. Better
than all the kids. First one's basketball. The second one,
basketball also
basketball. So now he's like any football star in a small town. Everyone knows him.
Literally, as he's running through the town, people are always like, "Hey, buddy!" It's a wild dog running around the streets, and people are like, "Hey, buddy, how you going?" They're to the point as well where he gets subbed on in the football game, and the evil coach is like, "What the hell? There's a dog on," and you hear some guy off camera going, "Doesn't he know that's Air Bud? Come on, buddy!"
Yeah, and they do kind of go out of the way to illustrate this point that he's a celebrity now. Like the first scene, the son's dad is getting remarried. Is it his mom is getting remarried to the dad?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's Josh's dad, but it's the young girls. I think it's their mom, so they're all one big family now. I think that's
Wait,
what's going
the
on.
girl he liked. Oh no,
No, the young girls who are always in the army.
They're playing spies or something. That's like the B storyline that I'm not going to try and remember what it was. But yeah, the first scene, and of course, like there's no like cast to this movie, so. Instead of having like other, male adult actors that you would have to pay money to be in the movie, they have the son and Air Bud are the groomsmen. The son is the best man, and of course he misses he leaves the rings at home. They're getting married at a local church around the corner, obviously. So he just goes, Buddy, I forgot the rings. Go get them. And Buddy, like a flash,
he's gone. And also the dad. This is the first scene. This happens a few times in the movie. The dad is totally oblivious to everything happening outside of a 1-inch radius of his face. He just has no idea. This happens over and over again, and every time it happens, it makes him look like the biggest idiot in the world, which I don't think the film's supposed to, because it's revealed later that he's a vet.
Yeah, that's the thing. So he the son forgets his best man, his stepson or his son.
Blows it on the day.
One job, bring the rings. He didn't have to even organize the stag, probably. It was just...
No, Air Bud did that.
Air Bud organized the stag. You brought the rings. You forgot the rings. So he says to Air Bud, go back and get the rings. Like, that's as much instructions given the dog. And the dog runs, like I say, all the way through town. And then it's like the classic, like the florist and the baker and the postman. Like, oh, hey, buddy. Hey, Air Bud. Hey, Air
buddy.
Bud.
Whoa, buddy, where are you going?
Yeah. And of course, he goes all the way to the town, goes into the house through a lift because there's workers working in the house. Thankfully, he gets up on a cherry picker into the window, grabs the rings, gets back down. Oh, cherry picker's been brought down. He finds another way down. All this like stuff could be cut from the movie. There's no reason to have like.
Yeah, this is padding. Again, like I said, they made it an hour and 20 minutes. I would say 25 minutes of that is Air Bud running from various points to different points. That's it.
Yeah, but like this dog is insane. Like he's almost sentient now. Like he, like he can understand English, and he's also like.
This is key also because I'd never seen Air Bud. I thought the dog could talk, and after 5 minutes of the movie, I thought, oh no, it's just a dog.
It's just. But like if we were at the altar, Will, and you said I forgot the rings, go get them. I'd be like, all right, where'd you leave them? But Edward doesn't even need that. Edward's like, like he knows exactly where they are. He goes up to the room, gets them off the table. Like I go to the kitchen. Like this is a huge house, by the way. Of course, this is like 2000 Middle America,
gigantic. Yeah.
When I was watching it, I wrote down Seventh Heaven. I think it's like the same set house. This kind of like Middle America. We have
white picket fence,
enormous fucking houses.
Yeah.
And the British actors is brilliant because that's what they think British people are, like other fancy kind of rich people. Like there's the only black person in the movie is the butler. It's like it's
literally the English guy's servant is the only black character in the movie.
It's really strange. And it's like, we were watching Ben Like Beckham last week.
Yeah, the opposite. Yeah, it's so culturally aware of what's going on.
And this, that's all Make America Great Again. This is what they have Air Bud 3 in mind. Like this kind of a neighborhood where it's just like, my back when there was no black people around. I was like, there was. You just kept them out of your neighborhoods. Like that's, it's this kind of image of America that was like being pushed on kids. Like, like sentient dogs and no black people. That's what the movie said. This is when things were great. It's really weird watch, and it doesn't hold up in any facet. Like,
no, I knew it wouldn't hold up, but I thought it'd just be shit. But there's a few different points in the movie. Not just that. There's another point later as well, where I was literally like, I can't believe that made air in 2000. Yeah. Where I think I get the joke where the evil coach that his team is losing to Air Bud's team. And he's like, what's next? They got girls playing for them. They've got dogs. What's next? A water buffalo? And then a vaguely Asian looking boy comes up and he says, can I play next week? And the evil coach rolls his eyes to heaven and walks away. And I was like, what is the punchline here? But I think I put it together.
Yeah.
When he says, what's next? Water buffalo. I think it's actually a Native American child who comes up, and it's implied that's the child's name. That's what I think the joke is, which is also racist.
Or like just vague kind of Native American water buffalo is.
Yes. Because either that's the joke, or literally the joke is that the coach is more likely, he'd rather see animals play than the Asians. And that's like a funny line in the movie.
Yeah. It's also, again, I'm hoping not many people watch this movie, so I don't want to over-explain it either, but it's important to know that, like, I never watched Air Bud or Air Bud 2. I would imagine they're more sports-based than this movie was. This was kind of a teen drama.
This feels like a cash grab.
Well, there was nothing. Well, it wasn't about football, is what I mean. Like, it was adjacent. The main story was a love story between one Josh and the girl Emma, and then Air Bud and Molly, which is another Labrador that shows up, another golden retriever that shows up in the middle of the thing, and they have sex and have puppies.
Yes, they need obviously puppies to keep they can't have Air Bud forever. You need franchise. You need puppies. You need more dogs. So that's how they do it. When Air Bud locks eyes with the other dog and the love music played, I genuinely in real life banged my fist on the table because I was just like, this is the worst. It's like, I'm not watching a dog love interest for the next hour, am I?
Oh, yeah, no, the first like 5 minutes, oh my God, like it just drags so much. Like, and the whole thing is like, and not to get into it, but when you think about it's for kids, this is a straight to video for kids, and like the lessons are like, do you like a girl? Well, just fucking pretend to like what she likes. Hang around her. Don't take no for an answer, that's for sure. Like he's a basketball. He likes playing basketball, and he's kind of an Air Bud shadow, so that's not great. But then this girl comes along and is coaching his younger sisters. He sees her and he's like, oh my God, this girl is so hot, Maybe I'll start playing soccer to, But like, those movies exist where it's like you try and do that, you try and be cool, whatever, and then it's like, but really, that's not good. And there is a bit of that they go on this date where he wears a leather jacket and sunglasses and is like,
out of nowhere. Also, it's not referenced at all. He just all of a sudden he's wearing glasses and a jacket and speaking differently on the stage to impress the girl.
Yeah.
Again, this is their first date. They've probably met like 3 times, and they have this argument, and the girl is like, "I asked you on a date, not this whatever fake version."
Dork.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Then cue the sad montage. We're at the sad part of the movie now, but it's like literally these 2 people have barely talked, and they're just like. And now we do the sad part of the movie because that's what you have to do. And then now we're back to the love interest. But it's like, oh my God. It's like it was just, when I was watching it, this is a movie that I would say ChatGPT or AI would write if you asked it to now.
No,
it's
it
that
wouldn't.
level.
It wouldn't. It'd be better than this. AI would have better than that because they would look up the structure. That it would be a technically perfect movie. It mightn't have any soul to it. It mightn't have any, unbelievable twists. But this had nothing. Like I said, this was low effort. This is made by people who wanted to work on the big things at Disney, but they had to do this instead because they're entry level people. No one wanted to make this movie, but they did it. Because this is a step up to the next thing. It was just fucking terrible. Like I say, the lesson should have been like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to play soccer anymore because I don't actually want to do that.
I'm going to be myself. Yeah.
I'm going to be myself, but I'm going to support Air Bud or whatever. Who's just a natural athlete. He can do anything. And
look, I'm never going to be Air Bud. I just have to accept that.
What we always do with these movies is we discuss the football element of it, Will. What did you make of the football of it?
Here, I thought it was funny. There's parts of the film where I have it in my notes here, I took down, why is the football in Air Bud better than Bend It Like Beckham? Like it looks better at
let's
some
not compare
stage.
films, Will. That's not very nice, let's call it merits. No. The football was all right.
The way it's filmed, it looks like there's less harsh cuts. Some of the players, I have at one point, Emma, it's like a wide shot of her. It's her, it's the actress.
Yeah.
She's actually all right. She's doing like chops with the ball and stuff. So I would assume the reason she's such a bad actress was because they were like, get one that's good at football and don't worry about the acting.
Well, just to bring it back to Ben Like Beckham, I they did it for like 3 months or whatever. Now Now, Keira Knightley was trying to be an actress. You know, she didn't really want to do this.
Doesn't really give a fuck about the football. Yeah,
but she was 16, which is young, but it's not the kind of young where you can absorb information and become like you teach a small. What age was that kid? Like probably around the same age, I guess, but 12, 13 around that. Like I feel like you spent 3 months. I don't know if they did 3 months now, but you know, I feel like you picked it up quicker. Jess Minder in that movie, she was 27. So like you're 27, you do 3 months of anything, like you're not going to pick it up quickly. So I feel when you
need to be doing this forever. Yeah.
If you spent like 6 weeks with a kid doing football, they pick it up better. But yeah, she was actually pretty decent. Maybe she had some kind of background in it. I don't know. But yeah, I think as well that the Bend Like Beckham, they were trying to say like this is like collegiate athlete level stuff. Whereas in Air Bud's like this is kids soccer, so it has to look like kids soccer. So yeah, you can do wide shots because you're not expecting it to be that good, you know. I mean, Air Bud playing soccer was just like any dog you've ever seen chasing a ball around.
He's not that good. He's good at heading the ball though. He can get his head on things. He's a good finisher, but yeah, he's not like, great for a dog. Also, he uses his front paws a lot. Is that what's the rule? What's the handball rule?
This comes into the if dog wore trousers, would it wear like this or like that? You know, where does his feet begin and his arms begin? You know,
there's a controversial handball in this film actually, where it's kicked directly at a player's hand and they go straight to a penalty. And I was like, that was not the rule at the time. They're actually ahead of the game. Yeah,
yeah, there was a bit of that. I suppose that was maybe not factually correct. Well, that's where we'll pull them up. Hang on, lads. The handball rule at the time, it's changed a lot. But if we go back to that time, I don't know when you filmed it, but yeah, I think the football was all right because again, it wasn't aiming for too high a level. It just had to show like these guys can kick a ball, and some couldn't. Josh could not fucking kick a ball.
Josh could not. Every time he goes to kick the ball, he falls over. Obviously, that's like played for comedy, but genuinely, he looks like he can't kick a ball. A few of his teammates also do, but they're a bad team, so it's okay.
Yeah, they suck. Yeah.
But I will say, all the goals they score in this movie are clearly like designed by people who've never watched football, because it's like Emma will get to the fucking goal line past the keeper, and instead of tapping it in, she'll flick it up and Air Bud will do like a bicycle kick. Like there's so many times where that happens. They're like Man City cutting it back constantly. You're already there. Just finish it.
2017 to 2021 Man City, the cutback kings, just like process football.
It happens so much. Emma does it every single goal where she'll be at like already in the goal and she'll flick it back for someone else to like stick it in. Or she does like a weird standing bicycle kick at one stage. So there's a lot. The goals are mad. The goals are much weirder than Bend Like Beckham's, definitely.
Bicycle kicks, if you're making a football film, if you get that in there, because like when it happens in the game, it's the most amazing thing that ever happened. Like Bale's one, Garnacho's one, like we talked about that for months, the Garnacho one, you know. So like, yeah, if you make a movie, that would be the shot to get, but it's hard to make it look good in a movie, I feel, unless you have someone who can actually do that, which, you know,
which is hard.
To do. Yeah.
It's really hard, yeah. It's funny as well because obviously it's not a serious football film, but it's also an American idea of soccer. You know, there's a lot of that. Is soccer or football? They say that joke loads to the point they actually do have quite a good gag in the film. I was like, that's actually pretty funny. Where Josh and his friend decide they're going to join the football team, and Josh's friend shows up in full American football gear with helmet and shoulder pads because it's football team. That's actually a good gag. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there was the plot of the dog catchers, of course. Like this thing, it was so little about the football. There was like a football tournament where they say, "Oh, it was a dog. He can't play." And I think in the movie they go, "We've been through this. He's already played basketball." Like this, like
was like one of the lines from that evil coach. He's the head of the federation of whatever local soccer league this is, but he's like, "What the hell? They've got a girl playing for them." And the other coach is like, "Yeah," and he goes, "That'll make it easier on us." And then Air Bud comes out. He's like, "What the hell? They've got a dog. That's not allowed." It was just like. He doesn't care at all about the girl. It's all about the dog playing. He's like, that's ridiculous. Obviously, it's good the girl is playing. She's crap, is what he implies.
Well, he's a bad guy. But I mean, at that age, you kind of mix, you know, girls and lads do play in the same sport. So that's just a bit of off the hand sexism. That's not. They weren't breaking rules by doing that, Will. You know, but the dog.
Don't worry. I'm sure the female footballers will come good at the end of the movie and really show them.
Yeah. Well, look, as we know, Air Bud is an insane athlete. You know, he's
the best.
He's the best there's ever been. He can pick up any sport and do well. But yeah, I mean, I forget because this is a real kind of. I should have locked my phone in a lockbox because like such a drag. And I'll tell you what's worse, Will, for a man of my age who has destroyed his brain with alcohol and fast food, we'll say. You know, I can't even remember his own childhood sometimes. Watching this on YouTube, not YouTube Pro, it kept getting by ads. So, like, there's this long, slow, boring movie, and then every 10 minutes, like this bright, colorful ad. Because my ad was like, we got to get this guy up and going. We know what it takes to get him attention. It was like, geez, it was like someone turned the lights on every time. It was like really shook me out of the movie every single time. So then I have to get back. I have to like unskip an ad. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you know, like one of the Just Eat ads where it's like 100 million things going on and then back this like slow moving movie. It was a slog to get through. But yeah, I think my favorite scene, or maybe the scene that like holds up the worst, I would say, is the one after the date. Where the son comes back and he's like, oh yeah, that was bad. And the dad comes in and like, you know, because this is fathers and relationships in the 2000s. Doesn't like, to me, I'm like, all right, I wonder what happened. Hopefully nothing too bad.
What's going on? Yeah, what happened?
It's like, oh, I made a huge mistake. I was like, okay, tell me exactly what happened. You're worrying me. You're scaring me now. Alarm bells are ringing here. What did you do on the date, son? You know, but he's like, yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Things work out. And it's all just kind of like very vague, kind of these things.
Have faith in yourself, son.
So how'd the big date go?
Don't ask.
Is that bad, huh?
Worse. Just don't know how dumb you're acting until afterwards.
Sometimes it just takes patience. And if it's meant to work out, she'll be there.
I'm not so sure after what happened tonight.
A little faith in yourself. It goes a long way.
Thanks.
All right. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
He essentially goes, don't take no for an answer. So you get
back
after.
He does kind of say, look, if it's meant to work out, it'll work out, you know, but you got to find out what's going to work out.
Here's my multi-tool. It served me well.
Is that when he brings out the knife, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's then. Maybe he's seen before it, but he just randomly gives his son a screwdriver / knife. It's mad.
What's that?
Well, it's a combination jackknife, screwdriver, whistle. My grandfather gave it to my father, and my father gave it to me. You should have it.
Oh, you sure?
I'm sure.
Thanks.
Always brought me good luck.
He pulled out this Swiss Army knife with two things on it, a screwdriver and a knife. And someone's like, that's sick, you know?
And dog whistle.
Oh, yeah, and dog whistle, yeah. Because don't forget Air Bud. This is an Air Bud movie. Don't forget. But he says a weird thing where it's like, it's always served me well. This knife?
Yeah.
With girls? Is that what you're implying? What are you trying to say about this? And then it does, because he helps her dad with the knife in the end.
Yeah. Because that damn Webster, Snurbert and Webster, the dog catchers.
The dog catchers.
Webster has they had to get a plan. So basically, they pop in and out of the film, and there's ominous music, and they look at the dogs and they go, "Oh, someday we're gonna catch them." Never really explain why. It kind of briefly, but not really. They never make an attempt to catch any of these dogs, really. So they have to come up with a plan. How are we going to get into this house? How are we going to take this family's dog?
That would probably change the whole rating of the movie.
Yeah,
I think.
that's true.
If there was a harrowing scene of them trying to steal a dog and like kids crying, they're like, all right, well, that's not what this is for. That's not, you know. So they just kind of like dance around it. But yeah, like I say, I don't think that the writers or whoever, again, they either didn't care or didn't know. But like,
they take wild dogs off the street. They're like, how can we break in there and take their dogs? Like, why would you do that?
And they don't want to either. They don't want to do that at all. They're trying to avoid like going around. Don't go around looking for dogs. they get called out, and it's a fucking like there's a ravenous dog around here. It's like, yeah, look, I'll send someone out, and they're like hoping that you don't call back. Like they're not like we're on the case. Well, we love getting getting our hands dirty in this job. We love going after ravenous dogs.
And the worst thing is, it's so easy. Make the dog catcher jealous of Air Bud. That's what you do. You say like, that damn dog gets all the limelight. I'm sick of it. What about me, the dog cat? But no, it's never mentioned why. They briefly mention at the end where they get caught by all the town dogs because a dog whistle is blown. It's awful. They're after stealing Air Bud's missus, and the pups that they've had now, and they brought them back to their weird the underground dog catcher lair.
I know, fucking like it was
where they don't do anything
like,
with the dogs, but the dogs are just in a box. There's no mention, and then they get caught by everybody. And Webster, the sidekick, who's been a fake butler for the movie, who does literally nothing. He just puts on a costume and then is working as a butler, but never actually comes into play. He then reveals, I actually, like, it makes no sense. Why are there butlers in the house? And then he's like, I actually just always wanted a dog since I was young. Could never get one. Just fucking buy one. Why are you being a dog catcher to try to steal a dog? And he says, this is all Snurbert's doing. He wanted to make money. That's it. It's never mentioned again. How is he making money from the dogs? Is he selling them? Is he killing the dogs? What does he do?
Yeah, like that's it. Like if you're a serious kind of dog snatcher, like you're not holding on the dog for more than like 6 hours. Like you have that lined up. You're not just going back to your lair and just letting there like we'll sell him one day. It's like no, like it's a.
They're gonna, if you try sell Air Bud, people are gonna be like, that's Air Bud. I recognize him. He's a star.
But like anything like that, if it's a car or if it's a piece of art, it's like you can't hang on to it for too long. You got to move that shit quick. You know what I mean?
You don't need a lair. Use the van.
Yeah, you're getting the van. You're selling it. Like it didn't make it. It was just again, it was a forced kind of plot point. It was like, I guess they find the dog and then they get back and. Fucking, I hate my life. I hate this movie. Like that's the sense you get. It was the first idea that came to them in the writers' room, and they just did every single one of the first ideas. A name for the dog catcher, Norbert. Yep, sounds good. And then they looked at a Webster's dictionary. He's like, "Is psychic is Webster?" Yep.
Yeah.
Put that in. And just get it done.
It's funny too because this is the second football movie we've now watched. And I would say it's going to be a worrying trend. We're going to see a lot of this in the more lighthearted ones, where the main players on the team are not at the big final and have to make their way across town to get to the game, and the game is already happening. This one, I'm pretty sure the team are only playing with like 7 players. It's just like, and the Timberwolves are missing half the team. Unlucky for them. It's still 1-1, by the way, so these Spartans must be fucking terrible. Like Airbud's not playing. They can't get it. They're not like 3 goals up, 4 goals up. They're wasting it.
Yeah, it's not a strong league. I mean, they do that dog play, so no one's really taking
it's
that
seriously. It's in a stadium, though.
Yeah. And yeah, of course, it's particularly ending. They win, and it's all good. And then, of course, if you thought
this is insane.
The last scene in the movie, This is what I mean about it. Just like it's straight to video. No one's gonna ever hear about this or see this. Again, if this is a movie on Netflix, people are gonna go, "Did you see this movie on Netflix? What they're doing on there?" It's like it's really hard to it kind of slight reminds me of, and this isn't a good example because he did get done for this, not done for it, but David Walliams from Little Britain. He had these kids books, the series of kids books, very successfully done. And I think he was on Graham Norton. People would be like, "Oh yeah, fair play for writing kids' books." And he was there, like with a big just shit-eating grin on his face, just like laughing off all the applause. And then like someone read them to their kids. I was like, this is full of like really ugly stereotypes about like Francois the smelly French frog and the German pig. Or I was like, what is this? This is really bad, But like that's the kind of thing where it's like if you're sending stuff out to kids that's not going to ever be in the cinemas. It's like no one's ever going to see this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But exactly. it's it's like bad written roles for women or for minorities, And you kind of think, oh, well, you got this big film, this big film. It's like, these are the kind of films, it's the ones that no one even hears about. It's like, this is being beamed in people's sitting rooms, these kind of shit movies.
Yeah. And like you said, the lessons from this movie are like genuinely damning to young girls all over America, I'd say. Because even like, not even just young girls, the plot of the movie is that Josh is a loser and he's trying to turn his look around. He's trying to get the girl. He's trying to play this for this soccer team. Air Bud scores the winning penalty. I was like, surely Josh would take the winning penalty and have his moment. Josh gets no moment in the movie. And then because of Air Bud's winning penalty, which he scores, he's immediately drafted to the US women's national team to be the sub goalkeeper. It hard cuts to the World Cup final penalty shootout. It's insane.
Yeah, like whenever, a fictional town and a fictional team, and it's like, all right, you take a bit of pinch of salt, there's a dog playing football. But then when you say, no, this is the real world, this is the women's US soccer team in the World Cup
final. There's like 100,000 people in this stadium.
Like, this is the kind of stuff where it's like, women's soccer, by the way, just in case you weren't sure, we do think it's a joke. Like the lads who wrote this thing, this one was for them. They were laughing their ass off the day I got this made, because it was like, this is funny. Because this is when women's soccer, or the US women's team, were like the best team in the world, and there was like real hype around it. And they worked for Disney, and they were like, put this in the movie. That'd be funny, Like that kind of the kind of casual misogyny was like, oh, it's Air Bud 3. Why does it matter? You know what I mean? It's like, it does, because it's like, there's 100 movies like this with like shitty lessons and like casual stuff like that.
To the point, I get it's a kids movie, so like it doesn't like really bear thinking too deeply about. But just the whole thing of like, they bring on Air Bud to go and goal to save the day for the penalty shootout in the World Cup final, and the women's team are standing around crossing their arms and they're like, I don't know about this one. You should be absolutely fuming. Why isn't there a woman in goal? Why is it a dog who also, it's been established in this movie because he got another dog pregnant, it's a boy dog. It's not even a girl dog. That would have been a great twist. If it's like, hey, Air Bud was a girl all along and it's actually, it's not as mental.
But this is what I mean. Like, whether it's conscious or not, it's like you are writing this down, being like, send the male dog is better than all the human female soccer players. It's like, that is like putting into whoever's watching
the best players in the world. Literally, Bend It Like Beckham's plot is also the US women's national team are the best team in the world, and so is this one. And Air Bud is better than them all. That is the lesson from the movie. The movie goes to black with Air Bud being lifted in the air by the US women's national team and the stadium chanting, "Buddy, buddy, buddy."
This is what I mean. It's like it's if Ben Like Beckham is an intentional time capsule of like, this is what it's like for people here now. This is an unintentional one. It's like, this is the kind of shit that people were putting on TV as either like, again, it's like, oh, you could make that today. It's like, you could make it today, but if you did, you'd be more visible, and it'd be like
in big trouble. Yeah.
So you are an idiot who has no business writing a movie about sports. You know nothing about the sport. Or you're intentionally making a joke about like women's soccer, like that.
Exactly.
Which is like, it's not woke. It's just, it's kind of like, it's not funny, really, because it's not even done in a funny way. It's done in like a semi-serious way, where like, and then Buddy comes on and scores the. Like I thought this movie would be a bit more kind of slapstick, a bit more kind of like record scratches and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just like
it's totally straight. It's not a comedy at all.
No, there's some bits you laugh at, and there's some alright jokes in it, but like, it's just like, it's a boring movie with bad lessons, and then at the end it's like, is that meant to be a serious point, or like, again, take it on some merits. In this universe, is Air Bud that good? Yeah. But then also,
he was playing for a local team though. He got like that. It's so mental.
And then also it's like, well, okay, what about the local team? He wouldn't be allowed to play in the Women's World Cup. So you are making a joke, or you don't know that. So it's like, either way, it's like, this movie wouldn't get made not because it's like, oh, it's so offensive. It's like, because it's so fucking dumb.
So
do you know
stupid,
what I mean? Yeah. It's so stupid and it's so dumb. Like, I was genuinely bored to tears because I was yawning so much that I was squeezing the tear ducts in my eyes, and tears were streaming my face. I was literally bored to tears watching this. It took me 2 goes to watch this. The worst movie that I've ever watched, hands down. And I can't believe I went back for a second go. We should have. I text you. I was like, I don't think I can do this. I think we need to go and watch Goal or something. Something that's been released in cinemas. Has Goal been released in cinemas?
Oh, the first one definitely.
Okay, but that is genuinely the new rule. Look that up first thing. Is this ever been released to anyone? Because if it hasn't, like it's going to be this shit. So
yeah. Oh, it was. I mean, we'll do our awards now. But before that, I think we'll get it out of the way. What's your rating out of 10 for this one? We'll do our joint rating. Bender Like Beckham got a 13.5, I think. Something like that out of 20. So you do your 10, I'll do mine.
Did I find it anyway enjoyable? Not really. Did I find it funny? I don't know. I don't like the ratings, to be honest. It's tough to I want to give a fucking 0, but then it feels kind of redundant to give a 0.
No, because we're doing this to find out, really, what is the best football film? That's, I think, the goal. Is like, what is the actual, when you look at the whole thing and the time and everything about it, what's the best one? I'll tell you, it's not this. I would say it's between a 0 and a 2, I would say.
This is not anywhere near the Ballon d'Or shortlist. You can scroll through the top 20 there. You're not going to see it. It's not going to be in the shortlist when we say our best movie. Yeah, mine is fucking a million. I don't know. Terrible movie.
Terrible. We'll go to some awards, will we?
Yeah, the awards. Football is nothing without the individual awards. We know that now in 2025. Let me get my awards categories up. I didn't fucking do them. But,
I've got the categories here. I'll shout them out to you. First one. This is going to be tough. The Streets Will Never Forget award. Who is the player, the actor, the character that maybe not the main character, but one that the streets will never forget? One you're always going to be fond of. Tough choice in this movie. They're all equally bad, I would say.
Yeah, best non-character, I guess. Not the best character in the movie, but just somewhere like, oh, you remember him in the movie.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah.
I liked him. The friend at the start who showed up with the football gear, and then when he started playing, he just kept doing step overs so he lost the ball. I did get a bit of a laugh at that. I was like, this guy,
his scenes are so weird too, because it's like they had to dub him in so many scenes. Like where he's doing the step overs on the pitch, he in a really clear voice while his mouth isn't moving is like, "Hey, look at this! I'm going over here now. Whoa, watch this!" But his mouth's not moving. It's so weird.
He almost felt like that they didn't want him doing that stuff, but he was somebody's nephew, so they're like, "All right, well." And then, like, at the editing process, like, make sure they're in the movie. He's like, yeah, no, absolutely. Dub over him because he fucking sounds like an idiot, And, like, they forced it in. He was like, he was doing whatever he wanted,
He also, there's a scene that makes no sense where so they get invited to Emma's family's party and they're like rich British people. And he shows up in a kilt and like the London Guard, big fuzzy hat thing.
Yeah.
He's like, girls love fashion. They walk in. And the joke is loads of people say to him like, hey, where's your bagpipes? Are you from Scotland? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, is the joke that he thinks they're Scottish? I think that's the joke. But I was like, that surely go over a lot of kids' heads.
I think the joke that he doesn't know what Britain is, which is funny because, again, for this audience,
the writers,
they don't know this either. They like no one in Middle America knows what Britain is. It's like this. Oh, is it Scotland? Is it Ireland? Is it that? Again, it's like it's the first. It's like, what about he comes in a kilt and like, yeah, sounds good.
Whatever. Who cares?
They don't need a punchline. Just like, yeah, that's a good joke. Put that in there. I guess, yeah, this guy's the comic relief character in it. And it's, yeah, just the bit where he's in the step overs at front. So that's a good bit that he's like,
And the American football gear joke is, again,
that's
pretty actually good. That's the highlight of the film, honest to God.
Probably the best joke in the film is turned up in the football. And it's like, the coach goes, you're not going to run it for the whole thing, are you? And he's like, no. It's like, all right, good. It's like, what? Why? Like, what? Like,
you ruined it. You ruined the joke.
He should have played the whole thing with it. He should have played every game with it. But whatever, it doesn't matter. There's not many Streets Never Forget. Because this is a very forgettable movie,
Yeah. I had, for my Streets I'll Never Forget, one of the only, I think, likable characters in the movie is the coach, Coach Montoya. Again, we said nothing about him there because he's not actually particularly memorable, but he just seems like he does a good job of being the coach in a shitty kids movie. He's quite likable. He's not annoying. He's not a particularly bad actor or anything. Just a likable guy with a mustache who says some nice things. Coach Montoya. And although at one stage they miss a shot And to establish that he is, I don't know, Mexican or Latin American, he goes, "Por favor." And the rest of the movie, that's never mentioned.
Yeah, because he's kind of playing the role of, this guy's the soccer coach at this school.
Yeah.
The lowest coach on the rung, like. So he's just like beleaguered, like they show up when there are not enough players. He's got no funding. He has to play with the dog, although the dog is a superstar.
The dog's a star.
There should have been the basketball coach like, what the hell are you doing with my players? We got preseason in 3 weeks. There was none of that.
He's won a goddamn ring.
This guy's been the tri-state MVP for the last 2 seasons in a row. You're not taking my. He's not going to get injured playing soccer. I don't think so. Like there's none of that. He's just like this guy who has nothing. And that one scene where they lose the game and it's like double training.
We're training right now. You're going to learn some soccer. You're going to learn. I didn't see one give and go out there.
Yeah, I know, these are kids. Like, surely their parents are like in the cars, like, "Come on, like, we have to go." You had to have another transition, but yeah, he was all right. He had that one scene where the first time they show up on the board of the league has said the dog can't play.
Yeah,
it's like, "Emma, get the ball."
Yeah,
Emma,
kick it over there. He
kick it in
points.
Kick it that way. It's like it's not clear what he's trying to do.
She does the worst kick. It lamely, even in the fake kick, it lamely bounces and rolls into the goal. She doesn't hit it top bins or anything.
And he goes, "Us 1, you guys 0. Back on the bus." I was like, the game hasn't started. It's not 1-0. It's not.
There's a great line in that, actually, I will say, where he says that. And he goes, "Let's go, team." And you quietly hear one of the extras, I assume, who's like one of the big wigs in a suit there, who's not allowing it. And he says to the other guy, he goes, "That's not going to count, is it?"
Emma, come with me, please. Kick the ball, please. There. Fernfield 1. Roxbury, nothing. Let's go home.
That won't count, though. No.
I think that was just a guy, he's fucking, I'm going to try one here, see if I can get a line in the film.
Yeah, trying to get line in, yeah. They do that sometimes. I heard a great story about Brad Pitt said that when he was an extra. He was a waiter. Like, he was literally meant to come over and pour like water into a glass. And he was like, "Do you want red or white?" Like, "Cut, what are you doing?" He's like, "Sorry." You can't, they're in the middle of a conversation. You can't interrupt with like a line you're getting in.
Excuse me, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the president. What? Cut? Who is this handsome extra? Yeah, no, not many streets. The streets, I think we'll forget this movie. Well, obviously, if you go to YouTube comments, they haven't actually.
Yeah,
some streets do remember it, but
it has like over 1 million views. It has a lot of positive comments, but yeah.
The Sod of Turf, Napoli Fans 22 Award. What piece of memorabilia would you want from the show?
I think I will say this: the football is no good, the film's no good, the acting's no good. But the fucking kits on display in this film are all cracking. All these like Umbro kits, all supplied by Umbro in like 99, 2000s.
Yeah.
Fucking sick. Like they're proper retro kits. Buddy, Airbud's team are in like a blue and yellow jersey. They're the Timberwolves. But it looks like a basketball jersey in a football style. It's sick. And then the bad guys, the Spartans, are essentially in the 2000s Man United kit. They're in red, white, and black with the Umbro thing, and they're the bad guys. It's sick.
Yeah, it was just like this. It's funny now because like we look back, it's like, oh, those kits are so cool. But that was just like the standard kind of baggy, because like you wanted it to be baggy and to be breathable.
Yeah,
yeah. But it makes a nice silhouette on the body.
Yeah, and like they have, because it's America and they don't really know how. Like again, they're thinking basketball. The kits all have like the team names in like massive, sick 90s font on the front.
Yeah. They're thinking You know, like in England at the time, it was like, the sponsors are ruining these shirts, you know, whereas like in the US, it was like, we need brighter colors than that, you know. Do you have a brighter yellow that we can stick on the jersey?
More lightning in the name.
Yeah, more sharp edges on these things, you know. We want this to stand out, you know. So like that was just the standard kind of kits back then. Maybe the sunglasses and jacket he wears on the date. You know?
Yeah, that's good. Air Bud wears sunglasses at one stage as well when they rock up to on the games.
But the first game they show up, they're all wearing matching sunglasses. I was like, whoa, this Air Bud just brings the sponsors. He brings the funding, you know. He's got that star quality. Once that Air Bud was on board, all the money came rolling in from the
Ray-Ban came and they said, look, we need Air Bud in Ray-Bans right now. He's hot right now.
There was a easy dunk there. A layup for the basketball coach to be like, you're taking all our funding and our best player, you know. It just never happened. Yeah, a lot of sunglasses. I mean, maybe Josh.
The dogs, the pups.
They were handing those pups out to criminals, you know.
Yeah, Webster. He just tried to kill him, I think, and they just gave him one.
Yeah, maybe Josh's dad's house. Nice
big house. That's good, yeah. the multi-tool with the dog whistle and knife.
The knife. The answer is the knife. Yeah, sorry. I forgot about the knife. I want the knife. Going once, going twice, I get the knife. You can have the fucking 90s kit. What else? We had Fraud Alert, weakest character in the movie.
There's a lot of options here.
I mean, the other dog. She doesn't play sports. Molly didn't do anything.
Just a dog.
They wrote a weak female character role for the female dog. I mean, it's insane. They introduced a female character to literally be just a love interest
just
of
to
Air
get
Bud.
Pregnant. Yeah,
like that's all that she was good for. I mean, Air Bud had some kind of, you know, it's like they could have given the dog a bit more personality as well. Air Bud, I felt they didn't really give him any kind of.
No, like Air Bud, like he saves the day a few times. He does a lot of escaping the house. That's kind of his big thing. But yeah, the other dog literally doesn't do anything. If anything, it's helpless. Air Bud has to keep rescuing it.
Yeah. Air Bud, and they kind of told Lamb like this guy is super smart and like this guy made the dog. This dog is super smart. He's got so much capabilities. And then it's like, oh, he's going to make ice cream. And then it's like he makes a complete mess of it. It's like, well, yeah. That's almost like a wink to be like, it's like a wink, like, well, he's a dog. He's not gonna make ice cream. You know, so he can do fucking everything else. He can understand English perfectly. Doesn't even need instructions. He's intuitively knows.
Penalty in the World Cup final. Yeah, but he doesn't know how to fucking use anything. Obviously, he's an idiot. He's a dog.
Doesn't have puddle thumbs. He could never make ice cream well, but he can still make it. Obviously, he knows how all the things work. He's just gonna make a big mess. So it's like, is he a rude dog? We don't know anything about him, but yeah. He's probably a weak character in a way, but
Molly.
Well, outside of the dog characters, we'll say, because it's, you know,
it is tough. A dog at the end of the day.
It is a dog. You are somewhat limited. Maybe the mother. She got married at the start.
Yeah, it doesn't really factor into the film whatsoever. Has no idea where her kids are for 90% of the film. Also, like, it doesn't even come into it while they're just like. The two young girls are constantly sneaking out of the house every night. I think they're like 6 and 7, maybe. The mother has no idea that's happening. The two little girls, they do have a kind of weird line, but it is a funny line, where they're spying on the party house. And they say, oh, it's Emma's house. And it's them peeping in the window. And one of the girls goes, is this a peeping Tom? Is that what this is? And the other girl goes, no, that's only men. That's why it's called Tom.
Yeah. Maybe that was reference to Talented Miss Ripley. A little nod. Yeah, you know, like a great Philip Seymour Hoffman scene. You know that one?
You think there's a nod to Philip Seymour Hoffman in Air Bud 3?
Look, someone in there is passionate about movies. It's like, you know, they've got a shitty assignment, but there's someone there pushing something. There has to be. I mean, a lot of weak characters to choose from, but maybe I think
Snorbert and Webster, they are awful.
Snorbert, Webster, yeah. I think there's just not enough strong characters to give anybody. You know,
they're all frauds, really.
It's like the Ireland Man of the Match Award. You know, when we get hammered, it's like give it to the goalie. You know, it's like to give some of the worst players like who to choose. They're all up for it. You know, yeah. The Al McCoy's unexpected banger in the movie. There is none.
There's no unexpected bangers. Just the music. I think it literally is all written for the film. All of the songs play over various montages, and the lyrics describe exactly what's happening during the montage. For example, when things are going badly, there's a sad song, and it says, "Things can only get better because it can't get worse." And I thought, yep, that's how I feel at the moment watching this. There's another one where he sees Emma for the first time, and the lyrics are like, "I can't believe I'm seeing a girl so beautiful."
Take your hand, I will never let it go, and the time will stand still as our feelings grow, and it turns me around when I see you smile, and it picks me up when I'm feeling down, and it spins me around when I see you smile, and it picks me up.
You know who else does this, and what other show does this? And I'm sure you've been forced to watch this, Will. Love Is Blind.
Oh yeah, they're big for that. They use sync
do the same shit.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
it's like, and I watched it, and it's whatever. I watched a lot of Love Island. You know, I'm not above reality TV. I watched even
Love Is Blind is particularly bad.
It is particularly bad. So I'm saying, like, it's for that level of brain function, where it's like, I'm watching this, but like you're not you're doing something else in the background.
I'm on my phone.
You're on your phone.
I'm putting this on and I'm going on my phone, and that's why the music has to describe what's happening, because I'm not watching.
Just to make sure that we know, like, this is the sad moment of the episode. It's like, oh, good, because I wasn't really sure what he said there. Like, that's the level that you're at when you're watching. Your brain is like operating at half the capacity, and this is what it's for kids. That's what it is. So this movie has the words of the songs explained to the kids. This is the sad bit. This wasn't a good date, just in case that he messed up there. She's not happy with him at all there, you know. So yeah, it's no bangers, unfortunately. No moving on up.
No moving on up. No, they did not splurge on one song for the soundtrack. No. We'll play one of the songs maybe to play us out to give you an idea.
And then, of course, the name of the show, the You Couldn't Write It award, most unbelievable plot points part in the movie. I mean, all of it is
the dog for one.
the semi-sentient dog. You know, but that is the kind of the premise of the movie. So yeah, if you can get past that and you go, okay, we're in a world where Air Bud exists. What's the most unrealistic part of this movie besides Air Bud being Air Bud?
I mean, the World Cup final. It has to be. It has to be him.
Yeah, from a technical standpoint alone, because you can't play dogs in the Women's World Cup. If you're going to use the World Cup, then
maybe there's some kind of exception to the rule if it was a female dog, but it's not. They should have had Molly, the girl dog, be the one who goes. That would have been great.
But this is what I mean. This is us riffing on it for like an hour. The first idea was like, an Air Bud scores in the World Cup final. Yeah, just fucking finish this. Just write it down and we can get out of here.
Right. They said, what if Air Bud scored World Cup final? They said, great. Can we get into FIFA, get into the men's one? Probably no. They said no. Anyone know anyone the US women's national team? Like, yeah, I might know someone. Okay, perfect. He scores in that. Right, let's work our way backwards now. So
wait, you think that FIFA signed off on this in some capacity?
Well, it says at the end. No, it doesn't say FIFA. It says at the end, thank you to the US women's national team. At the end. Doesn't say sponsored by them or anything.
Were they the actual women's soccer team in the movie?
Yes.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Brianna Scurry was in goal. She's the goalkeeper for the US women's national team in 2000. And all the other players are real as well. Now, I'd say there's some players that said no, but the ones that are mentioned are all real.
I mean, to be fair, maybe it's not that serious, you know. If it was you, like they want to do Air Bud and they score in the World Cup final, you're like, yeah, funny enough. That's fun. That'd be a funny day at work. You know, we get to work with Air Bud. That'd be cool. You know, they're not thinking of like
they think Air Bud is real.
No, but like the dog Air Bud. That they'll get the Air Bud people to come in. Not that they're gonna, you know, like meeting Lassie. You know, like the real Lassie was a trained dog. It was like, hey, we get fucking the dog and be fun. And they weren't thinking of the wider thing of like, what a women's sport. You know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You know.
Yeah, it is funny as well because in the credits it says playing the part of Buddy, and there's like 7 dogs, but it's quite funny because the credits say like Pooch, Rover, Rex, all these names, like as if they're actors.
Legal names, yeah. Yeah, I guess them scoring the World Cup at the end is pretty, even in the context of like this dog's really good. It's like he just wouldn't be allowed. Just wouldn't.
Why would he be the backup goalie? He's never been in goal at all. Also. It makes sense if he was scoring the penalty. He does that twice.
Yeah. I mean, look, it does. This is what I mean. I feel like the whole the awards, the whole kind of discussion around the movie, it kind of falls flat with maybe this kind of pointless. You know, when it wasn't made for us. You know, I think you live and learn. I think we won't do a movie like this again. If it's 4.8 stars, it's not even going to be that good. You know, I think I was looking at Kicking and Screaming, which I was thinking we might do next, because that's when I watched. I thought, yeah, this is funny, but like in a kind of a funny, insane Will Ferrell way. You know, like I don't think it's going to be a good movie either. Like in terms of like it's not going to win any Oscars, but like
it'll be entertaining. You would think.
It'll be more what we thought this might be, where it's like that's an insane plot point. This is just like that's boring. That's and low effort.
Boring and dumb. Yeah.
But I think that's like 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Will Ferrell movies normally are rated pretty low, though, I think.
This is one of the lowest he has.
Oh, that's not good.
I'll look it up again. Kicking and Screaming. 2005. 5.6 out of 10. 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I do remember watching that when I was younger and thinking, this is fucking hilarious. This is so funny.
Yeah, same, yeah.
What's another movie that, like a kind of a comedy movie like that you would think would be low? Because they usually are low rated because people are like, this isn't funny, this was disgusting or whatever, you know.
Yeah, well, any Will Ferrell film, I suppose, but like Anchorman. What's Anchorman rate?
Well, Anchorman, I feel is one of the best of that genre.
What about Anchorman 2, which is particularly bad?
Anchorman 1 is 7.1 out of 10. Anchorman 2, 6.3 out of 10.
There we go. We're in Anchorman 2 territory.
Oh, Dewey Cox, The Walk Hard.
Good shout.
That's 6.8.
Wow, that's high. Yeah, Kicking and Screaming must be terrible.
It's low. It's okay. How about this one? The weird Al Yankovic one with fucking Dan Radcliffe. 6.8.
Kicking and Screaming is bad.
Kicking and Screaming might be really bad. Or maybe something really offensive in it that we forgot. I know there was like Italian kids in it. Maybe it's like really broad, stereotypical stuff.
I'm nearly sure there's an Asian boy who Will Ferrell can't get his name right.
He calls him Ping Pong.
Ping Pong, Ching Chong. He calls him all that stuff.
Yeah. So there's probably stuff that really doesn't hold up. We hope that. Yeah. Again, when I was a kid, I would have found that hilarious, but
we'll hope
for that. Yeah. Well, okay. Elf, we'll say that's his best one. Just come on, give me something here.
Oh well, Elf is going to be rated high. People love Elf.
7.1. See, none of them are going to be 8s. You know what I mean? They're all like, all right, it's a watchable film. It's not the best film ever, but it's watchable.
Kicking and Screaming is literally the worst.
Wedding Crashers, 7 out of 10. Like the best of the genres, like 7 out of 10. No one's going to give it. 40-Year-Old Virgin, 7.1 out of 10.
7. Yeah, that's good. Good movie.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. The whole cast is cancelled. 7.1 out of 10.
Get him to the Greek, maybe.
Get him to the Greek. There's a few people who people hate now.
Diddy, Russell Brand, and Jonah Hill together at last.
6.3 out of 10. And I remember watching that thing, and this is boring.
This sucks. Yeah.
Due dates. We're going bad out. Just the shows are just reading out movies from the 2000s. 6.5 out of 10 for due date.
What about Knocked Up?
Knocked Up. 6.9 out of 10.
That seems high. What about the one with? What about The Hangover 3?
The Hangover 3. Okay, well that's
which I remember thinking was awful.
You thought it's done? They've done the whole thing now.
It's over. Yeah, it's so over.
5.8 out of 10. We did it. Okay, so
That's the level. It's as good as Hangover 3.
Kicking and Screaming is as good as Hangover 3 by the ratings, which honestly, Air Bud 3 makes Hangover 2 look like No Country for Old Men. Like it's like
Schindler's List.
Yeah, There Will Be Blood. That kind of level of a movie. It's if you haven't watched it, you're lucky. It's not funny. There's nothing like funny to clean up.
Do not watch.
It's so boring.
Do not watch Air Bud 3. Do not watch Air Bud ever again. Didn't think we'd get so much out of Air Bud, I have to say.
Yeah, well, I got anger as went on, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because literally when you watch it, there is nothing to talk about, but I don't. Has anyone ever gotten that angry over Air Bud 3, do you think?
Yeah, no, they have. There's a lot of people doing a review of Air Bud 3 and some pretty angry people out there. But yeah, I don't know. Should we put it to another vote or should we just provisionally say we're going to watch as good as Hangover 3, Kicking and Screaming?
I don't know.
Give them a chance to see it. You know, if you want to rewatch Kicking and Screaming, you can. My suspicion, Will, is there's a lot of racism in it that doesn't hold up.
Yes,
because when you said the Chinese kid, I was like, yeah, I do remember that now. That isn't actually probably very good, and that's maybe where the reviews come from. I think it was as funny as those other 7 out of 10 movies if you ignore the racism. I
do think as well. I have a vague memory that Kicking and Screaming is big love interest and. Like I think even though it's a comedy film about Will Ferrell coaching the kids' soccer team, I think even that is like a B plot in the film.
Yeah, I know there's the Mike Dicta cameo in it. I just remember being funny. You know what? I think we should lock it in, Will, because it's
lock it in.
We'll give it another go.
It can't be worse than Air Bud.
It can't be worse.
It can't be worse.
It can't be worse. So yeah, next week, Kicking and Screaming, 2005's Kicking and Screaming.
We're out of the 2000s now. Early.
we're still in the 2000s, but we're 5 years removed from
the whole different world now. We're post 9/11.
Yeah. This is a different world now. You can't make Air Bud 3 anymore. It's Kicking and Screaming. It's this is probably why the racism was allowed. So it's like, yeah, good, you know. All right, we're getting deep into these things we don't talk about. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Kicking and Screaming. For the Ultras, we will see you on Friday. Have a great week.
Good luck.
You don't know where you go when you follow your heart. You just know it's where you belong. You can't see where you'll be, but the moment it starts, you just know that the feeling is strong.